Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, one and all. Welcome to your Wednesday night entertainment from the MRS Racing League. We are here in the very fast, very furious street circuit of Azerbaijan, downtown Baku. Lovely to have you all with us once again. And just before we get underway, I have a very special gentleman who's joining me for a few moments before he will take to the track himself. It's our current championship leader for the Kick Saubers. It's Dean. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Pretty good, mate. Pretty good. Thank you very much. How much are you looking forward to this one?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Love Baku, it's my favourite track, and anything can happen around it, and it's always exciting. Well, when you've got a street circuit, you don't know what's going to happen. Safety car, crashes, battling side by side. It's going to be a good one, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, big, very tight street circuit, isn't it? And, there is a little chance of some dodgy weather that can kick in as well. But you're right, safety cars are a big feature, of course, on the on street circuits. But, you're having an incredible season so far. And how's it sort of been for you? How are you feeling? Obviously leading the championship as well. And you and your teammates really throwing down the gauntlet in the constructors as well.
Yeah, it's been going quite well actually. I've had a little bit of fortune going my way, especially in like Miami when Jack crashed. He seemed really quick, but then I've had it against me a little bit at Spain when I got the 3 seconds. So I think the majority of it's been positive, and I'm just looking to keep riding the momentum wave and carry it through to the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fairness, you've sort of, a few races, Las Vegas, the first race of the season, you were just on another level, really, for a lot of it, especially in qualifying. But sort of last few races, we've noticed that you've not all had it your own way, really. Your teammate has looked extremely quick and given you a few problems. But and a few other drivers, such as one of the McLarens, for example, Mike's sort of been giving you a bit of a headache as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, Mike's been sort of like dark horse. He's not someone that I would usually think about in terms of who's going to be challenging me. Like I think of like the main guys like Jack or Thomas, maybe even Blood Diamond Jason. But yeah, he's sort of been popping up here and there, and there's like different guys giving me a battle because it gets a little bit predictable, and it's just good to have more guys fighting for the lead. I'd be a bit of a challenge and have it exciting than me running away every time.
Absolutely, and definitely, I think the last few laps of last week definitely gave me a little bit of a heart attack, and it gives me something to get excited about, and of course all the viewers as well. Like you say, there's a lot of drivers in there sort of challenging at different points, and this circuit's going to be another one of them, isn't it? That, like you said, it's there's a lot that can go wrong at any point. The strategy is such a difficult call.
Yeah, it really is, because the hards can basically last the whole race, and it's a difficult one. Do you start on the mediums, then if an early safety car comes out, you're covered, or will there not be a safety car and you want the pace at the end? So it can go either way, to be honest.
Yeah, it certainly can. It really can. There's a lot of drivers already out on track, mate. So really appreciate you joining me, mate. Best of luck for this evening, and of course the rest of the season. Thank you so much for joining me, and look forward to seeing you out on track.
Cheers, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Anytime, buddy, anytime. So there we are, folks. Dean giving his thoughts, and looking forward to pushing on for the rest of this season. Smurfed already is out. He's lost it into turn 3, outbroke himself, and that's exactly as Dean said. It is a street circuit. The walls are ever present, and a very fast circuit, this one as well. Very high top speeds. Look on board Jack there already, up to 200 mile an hour, higher than that down the very long start-finish straight. But yeah, a lot of drivers out on circuit already. We also saw Trem tap the wall as well, going into the castle section in what we're going to call the Charles Leclerc corner. I know Monster will appreciate that one. We have had a Red Bull actually have a little bit of a moment further behind. Not sure who it was, but we'll leave that one be. But we're on board with Jack on his first run. As we have beautiful sunshine here in downtown Baku for this qualifying session, and as Dean said, some of the tyre strategies are very, very difficult because he said the hards do go a very long way around here. So even strategy in terms of the qualifying is going to be very interesting as well, to see who does what and who tries to save some tyres for the race. It can be fast and furious once we get underway, but it is quite a long lap here. So drivers can't really be resting on the laurels. We put Dean a little bit of a disadvantage joining me this evening, but we know how quick he is. It's a 1:39.5 for liquid gas. That's the first fast time. But little mention to one of our newcomers. He's only been in the league about a day, I do believe, not even that. And straight into the Aston Martin, Simpendal. I'm going to have to come up with a shorter name for that, but lovely to have you with us. And hopefully you'll have a really good race. So best of luck to him, as the lap times coming thick and fast so far. Moses had to pit. Might have been him who had a little bit of a problem. Little tap on the wall there from Simpendel. Coming through what is technically the last corner, but we don't really like to call it a corner because it is just a little kink down the straight. And what can he do in the Aston Martin? Looks like it's going to be a decent time and challenge. Jack at a 40.1. Thomas already 2.5 tenths behind. Liquid gas. Trem is on an outlap. And let's have a look at Don Walsh. Had some really good qualifying sessions, some good races recently. Unfortunately, I haven't got the updated standings for you, but there's only one man I know is missing, and that is Grimo this evening. Blood Diamond's the only V-carb this evening, but it's also nice to have two Ferraris on the track. Dom is usually the lone man in red, but he has got his teammate, and nice to see Trem back as well in the McLaren. So Mulson has sort of been the standout reserve driver, been in numerous different cars so far this season. Well, we've got a few drivers now sort of finishing their first runs. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody does do a charger. I think Mulson looks like he's going to, and then he is going to attack once more. Let's have a look. Who else is on a lap? Let's go Blood Diamond, just finishing another run. No, he isn't. He's looking to start another lap. So let's go on board with Blood Diamond on a fast and furious lap around this Baku circuit. Very, very fast down to turn 1, 209 mile an hour. Heavy braking at turn 1. Nails it absolutely perfectly through turn 1. Important to get that exit. Heavy braking again into turn 2. Uses the inside curb, lovely, don't want to go too wide, and then the DRS is wide open on this long run up to turn 3. As he picks a braking point around the 100-metre board very late. Taps the inside wall slightly, but got away with it on that occasion. Into turn 4, very important to get a very strong exit. The short, flick it to the right hand side, the short run into turn 5, tightens even more into turn 6. That's a big curb. And then the short run, a very difficult braking point and a lot tighter angle around this, but it's a flat, there we go, a flat inside curve, round 7, then the old Leclerc section. Lovely if you get it right. 8, 9, 10, 11, now comes turn 12, easy to get that one wrong and run wide. You can invalidate your lap through there. And now the flat out, turn 13. Important to get the line right, not scrub too much speed through 14. Line yourself up for turn 15. Easy to get this one wrong as well, but no such problems for Blood Diamond. Down the hill, late braking into the final braking point, turn 16. Easy to lose it round the exit of there as well. Getting too greedy, but no such problems. Kink of 17. Then the flat out, 18 and 19. Easy to get this one wrong as well at full speed. And then the little kink, there it is, of turn 20. The DRS detection's been and gone, and we're going to have the DRS wide open. There it is. He's using the last of his battery as a run towards the line. It's a 1:40.6, so a 3/10 improvement for Blood Diamond on that second lap. And Liquid Gas has gone quicker still on a 39.4. So Jack had a couple of weeks off, and now he's back with a vengeance. But Dean is out on a lap so far. Let's have a look at what he is doing. And it's all about this ERS management through here. Wow, really throwing the hammer down through the Old Castle section. Gets it very nicely done. Got a lot of his battery that he's managed to save. Can use that to dump it down the start-finish straight of the kinks out of turn 16. But how's turn 15 for him? Absolutely perfect. Gives the wall a lot of respect. And then heavy braking. And there keeps that. Leaves alone the inside curb. Doesn't want to unsettle the car too much. As he tried to get the best run through it. But now he's going to be using as much battery as he possibly can. Doing nicely with just keeping it on the medium run. And let's have a look. DRS wide open. There it is on the kick Sauber. And what's this going to be on his first lap time? He's across the line to 39.7. Right behind his teammate as well. So kicks doing what they do normally and what they do best. And make liquid gas sweat. And the rest of the field hold their head in their hands and thinking, what do we need to do to close the gap? Let's have a look at Mike. He's been giving them a few problems, as mentioned. So it looks like driver's fueled for a couple of laps because it is very low tyre wear around here. But no, he is coming into the pits and finished his lap. Dom as well is down, so he'll be finishing his lap. Let's have a look at Trem. He's also going into the pits. Let's have a look. Monster's had a good lap time now. He's in 6th. So a handy lap from him behind his teammate, 2 and a bit tenths. So he'll be happy to get a lap on the board. Let's have a look. Dean is on his cool down lap. So no one actually on a fast lap at this moment in time. What about Dom? No, he was on a cool down on a probably an in lap. He's over half a second down at this point. So sort of lost the edge. Oh, you see that there? He just went a little bit wide, and that exit curb is almost as quite a large curb. Can really. Oh, Trem's actually retired from the session. Not sure that's actually in the pit lane. So the Liverpudlian, the best he's going to do is going to be in 11th, and he gets smurfed unfortunately in 12th. But now we've got a few drivers. The standard second run, medium tyres. And sometimes the offset isn't too bad around here. As I mentioned, as long as they can get the heat in the tyres. And we've seen a few laps on the soft tyres. And now it's going to be interesting to see what drivers can do on the mediums. And interestingly, because there's only 6 minutes left of the session already, believe it or not, we're almost 2/3 of the way through. That it doesn't really give you time to, if you make a mistake, to pit and to go again. We haven't got a lot of time left for the drivers, so the tyres I imagine that they are going to be on next is what they will be starting the race on. It's the top 3, I do believe, are going to be on their qualifying tyres. So it's interesting that Jack and Thomas, and I'm sure Dean will follow suit as well very soon. But it's going to be interesting to see what they can do and if they can improve. But I think Thomas is going to do sort of 2 warm-up laps on the mediums. He looks like he's going to weaving down the start-finish straight. So, yep, I'd imagine that's going to be 2 laps from him. As we've got Mike ahead of Jack. All on out laps at the moment. So stay tuned to the next 5 minutes, folks. We're going to see a lot of lap times coming our way. Simpendal, definitely one to watch. He's in 4th on his debut. So this could be very interesting to see. How close can he get to the top 3? Can he pull a bit more of a gap? There he is. Can he pull a gap to some of the other drivers? And he is going to start one of his flying laps. So we'll keep an eye on him. DRS wide open on the Aston Martin. And that's the thing about you. Notice his battery there, folks. He's used quite a lot of the charge in it, and it's easy to do as well around here because of that long straight. You do tend to use quite a lot of it early on, but with a heavy braking, it's capable of recharge. So let's have a look what he can do. It's a fresh set of soft tyres for the Aston. Not comfortable doing a lap on the mediums. It keeps it all nice and neat through turn 3 and into turn 4. Lovely and neat. Good exit as well from the Aston. How's he looking? He's a 10th up in the first sector. We'll keep that nice and neat as well. Yeah, Monster's right. You said you can't really push the track limits too much around here. Of course, there's only one sort of place you can go wide, maybe 2, and that's the first corner. as well as this one here that Zinfandel using all of the white line. Let's have a look. What's he doing? Using a bit of his overtake. He's got a lot of reserved energy. Keep the overtake on. I want to be careful with that one. He can spin the wheels up a little bit too much if you're not careful. But then let's have a look through the final traction zone. Looks nice and neat through there. He's going to be pushing now towards the line using the last bit of his battery. Hopefully he doesn't want to run out towards the line as well, because that will just completely shatter your top speed and any kind of acceleration to get up there. But that's going to be interesting to see. Once the DRS is enabled, you can see that speed, the miles an hour, get a little bit faster. Is it going to be an improvement? It is. He stays fourth though. Just have time for a cool down. Let's have a look. Where is Liquid Gas? He's slightly down on his previous time, and he's actually bailed. He's actually pitted his Jack. So maybe had a bit of a problem somewhere. Thomas slightly up on his previous first sector. How's he going to be coming through the middle sector though? Be at the end of this, not so straight. Of course, medium tyres for Thomas. A lot of brushing the tyre wall there on the way down the hill. What's it going to be? His middle sector down quite a bit, to be fair. So lost quite a lot in that middle sector. Let's have a look at Vexman. The other Red Bull he's got a Mike Taylor in front of him, who is on a lap. Oh, hits the wall, goes too deep. One of those difficult braking zones, mentioned it earlier. So easy. Most about his ability limits, but it is street circuits. Definitely test you, and hopefully we're going to have a full dry race, because traction is already difficult enough on the harder tyres, especially as they start to wear. But as mentioned, these can go a long way. Slightly down in that middle sector for Mike, but he's got plenty of battery that he can dump now if he so chooses. He won't get another lap in. 1 minute 50. So this will be the final attempt for Mike. How close is he going to be to his previous? Is it going to be an improvement? Oh, by 0.003 of a second. Stays in 7th. A few drivers now on their outlaps. Molson as well. Nearly 4/10 down on his previous. Unless he has a mighty middle sector. Could be 10th for the Ferrari. Into the middle sector, got a car ahead of him. Hopefully it won't put him off with the Sauber, but it could offer quite a nice little tow down this all-important final stretch. But need to keep his focus through there, 18 and 19. Easy to sort of lose focus when you're following another car. So you tend to sort of steer when they're steering and then just kiss the wall a little bit. A little distant tow for Molson. Hopefully it's going to help him. And what can he improve to? He can't improve, unfortunately. 3/10 down on his previous. So let's have a look who is on a lap. It is Thomas who has finished a lap. He can't improve. So he'll be second at best. Dean is going to be the last man, I think, to start. It could be Dom who might get over the line in time. Yeah, he should do with it coming out the final corner. Now you can see the bottom right hand side of your screen. And it's surprising how long that straight is and how long it actually takes to get down there. He went a little bit deep into turn 1, but gets the car rotated nicely now. Then DRS wide open and activated for him on the medium tyres. Don't forget, he's only 400 behind his teammate. Zinfandel the first to reach. He was in the pits, and oh, there's a wall there for Dean. Hasn't got any damage. He's got away with it, but the man pushing very hard to try to close the gap to Liquid Gas to be on the front row of the grid. Only a short run as well into turn 1, but it's that exit to turn 2, especially on the first lap. As his teammate gets out the way, allows him through to continue his lap. We'll keep our eye on the middle sector for him. Absolutely nails that castle section, the very difficult, very narrow and treacherous castle section. We'll have a look at his Sector 2 time. It's coming up in 1 corner time. Again, leaves plenty of room. A lot of respect for the track limits there. And how is he looking? He's slightly down, but this could still be a big improvement if he nails that traction zone. If he gets using, look at that, the overtake button. Use as much as he can. Blood Diamond now up to 5th. Liquid Gas improves once more by half a second. A 38.9 by him. This could seal pole position on his return. But is Dean about to spoil the party? He nearly does. A 39.2. Massive improvement in the final sector from Dean. He will start second as it stands. Vexman down his time. He's not going to improve. Waka Monster up to 6th. Displaces his teammate, and Blood Diamond on a 40.04 thousandths of a second ahead of Blood Diamond. Vexman has, of course, finished. He will pit now, and Thomas as well. He is on his way in, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is our qualifying session. Liquid Gas takes pole position ahead of our championship leader, Dean. Dom, right at the end, missed that from Dom. I'm sorry about that, Dom. What a lap. Into 3rd, a 39.7. Displaces Thomas into 4th. Simperdell in 5th. That's a great lap. Good start from him. Monster in 6th, ahead of Blood Diamond by 4 thousandths of a second. Then Vexman, the other Red Bull. Mike Taylor in 9th. Molson in 10th. Then we have Trem and the Smurfette in 11th and 12th on the 6th row of the grid. Good qualifying session that. It flew over very, very quickly indeed, which is a habit of this track, as I mentioned, because it is so long. You could be talking a 1 minute 45 plus for an out lap if you try not to take too much out of the tyres, or an in lap if you haven't got the fuel, and again, trying not to take too much out of them as you're bringing the car back in, trying to keep as much life as possible for the race if they need to be used. But there he is, the man on pole position. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that one. As I mentioned, very short run to turn 1. There's a classification again for the grid, which will start in a couple of minutes' time. But interesting, different tyres as well. Liquid Gas and Dean. Then Dom and Thomas. Soft, medium, soft, medium. So an interesting strategy calls are going to be played, I'd imagine, this evening. So a little breather for all the drivers now. And we will see very soon who decides what tyres they're going to be on. Top 2, maybe top 3. They're going to be on it. Well, that's interesting that Liquid Gas said there's still time on the table. So not overall his perfect lap. He's still happy enough with the lap, I should hope so. You are on pole position, Jack. So I'd imagine you are happy with that one. Well, thank you everybody for joining us and watching. I would ask you to hit the like button, but we're not on YouTube. So I don't think you can do that on Twitch. But hey ho. Lovely to have you all with us. And it is beautiful sunshine for the race. I would imagine we're going to have a full dry conditions out here, which I think the drivers will be pleased about, because it is quite a low downforce circuit, this one. The top speeds very, very critical in order to keep the lap time, but just enough rear for the throttle through a lot of these 90-degree corners, and especially through that castle section as you come up over the brow through turn 11 and into turn 12. You can easily lose the rear there, just pushing that little bit too much if you haven't got that aero downforce pushing the rear of the car in. So it can cause a few problems, but then also it's getting the braking balance just right as well, because easily to lock up, easy to outbrake yourself, and it's not very wide, this track, so you are at a huge risk of tapping the wall and going straight on, which we saw 1 or 2 drivers early on do that, and I think that's what caught the Smurf out as well early on in the qualifying session. So there's a lot of drivers are going to have to watch out for, and turn one's always tight and tricky, and even the tighter turn two can be very difficult if you're side by side. I've seen drivers trying to go 3 wide round there, and it just doesn't work at all. There's always going to be tears somewhere along the line. But it's going to be interesting as well, not just that, but who plays the DRS game. Because we have quite a lot of the lap without DRS, and only the 2 zones, of course, between turn 2 and turn 3, and then down the long start-finish straight. So if someone can play the game right, we've seen it before in real life. Bottas, for example, taking, I think it was 3rd position on the line with the use of the DRS and the overtake button. So I've seen it before. I'm sure we'll see it once again. People with thousandths of a second between them. As the drivers get ready. Get the last of their slight changes they can make of their strategy and their setups. It's going to be interesting, the choice of tyres around here. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody decides to go for the hard tyres to start with. Heavy fuel load, so they can get the heat into them and try to drive through any potential early stoppages with safety cars or virtual safety cars. But as we go to the formation lap, let's have a look at those tyres themselves. So there are a few. There's Blood Diamond, Mike and Trem using the hard tyres. Dom on the soft, Dean on his mediums, and Liquid Gas on the soft tyres. Of course, everyone else is on the mediums. So a bit of a field spread on that one, but it's going to be interesting to see what Blood Diamond, Mike and Trem can do. Especially off the start and in the opening lap or two, before they get the heat and the overall grip into those tyres. But already you can see Jack weaving around quite vigorously, even on the soft tyres that he's got on. So it's just going to be one to watch. It's going to be interesting to see what the medium tyres can do as well. And hopefully we'll get the pit strategies up at the bottom of our screen soon. So I'll give us some kind of indication, see what the drivers are going to do. I think it's a majority one-stop race, but again, that risk of the safety car can throw everything up in the air, and some drivers only really use 2 sets of tyres in that qualifying session, maybe at worst 3 sets of tyres. I think Jack sort of bailed on his medium tyre run and then came and used a set of softs for 1 lap and 1 lap only, so they won't have much wear on them at all, so they'll be okay. Same with a few of the other drivers as well, should they need them. But Jack, putting the hammer down around this formation lap, doesn't want to drive too slow. He wants to get the heat into the tyres and keep them in there, because they do sort of keep the heat when you're on the grid. So Jack not bothering to keep the pack close. Dean dropped quite a long way back. Definitely more than 10 car lengths, that one. But he's focused on getting those mediums up to some kind of temperature as well, in order to defend from Dom, potentially attack at the start, and keep up with Liquid Gas. As we have got, it's just a bit like Belgium this, where you get the worst camera angles for the start. I think you get it at Qatar and also Bahrain. You sometimes get this really distant rear shot. There, right as we're on cue, we've got the mediums to the hard tyres is the preferred race strategy, but medium and hards. So we're going to have to ride on board with our pole sitter, as Blood Diamond and Vexman forgot how to park their cars. But here we go, folks. Now we've got 3, 4 and 5 red lights, and Baku, round 7 for MRS is going racing. It's a good start, good reaction time from Liquid Gas. Dean trying to cover off. Thomas got a good start as well. He's trying to have a look at this bit of contact with his teammate. A little bit deep. That means Dom's got back through. There's been skirmishes further back as well. A little bit tight. Trem's got a monster start of forward. Monster might have got caught out a little bit. Pushed wide or squeezed to the inside. He's dropped a couple of places, still ahead of his teammate. Mike got a really poor start, but don't get he is on the hard tyres. But at the front, it is Liquid Gas who got away cleanly. Dean as well. Thomas unlucky, managed to get away with it. No damage to him. It was wheel to wheel. Just unfortunately not what he needs. There is a yellow flag. That's Smurf. Unfortunately, same place that he retired from in qualifying. Managed to keep the car going and reverse out. Smurf, he's disqualified for going the wrong way. Now that's really upsetting. I don't know what happened there. Oh yeah, I think he'd actually driven the wrong way. So he is disqualified from the session, but no safety car. We are still green flag. Now everybody, a few gaps already forming. Simpendel dropping off the back, and this is vital circuit to be within the DRS of the car ahead. And that's what Monster is to Trem. Oh, that's somebody hit the wall, and I think that was Vexman. It was. Turn 16 just caught him out, didn't get the braking quite right. And that's allowed Monster and Molson to come through. Is there any damage to that Red Bull? We're going to try to see. Doesn't really look like it. Oh, that was another big hit from Vexman. Didn't see any carbon fibre flying, so he may have gotten away with it. But Blood Diamond's closed now onto Simpendel. DRS is now available and will be available between turns 2 and turns 3. Top 2 have pushed away a little bit. Dean really harassing the back of the Williams. Also goes defensive very quickly. Look at that. There is the rear wing wide open. Not quite close enough this time around to have a good look. You need a brilliant exit round here because everyone is very low on the downforce. Monster's made a move on Trem. He is now up into 7th once again. And now a large gap that he needs to put his head down and close to. Maybe those drivers can work together with the DRS to haul themselves to the back of Blood Diamond and Simpendel there in the background. But this fighting between the top 2 has allowed Dom and Thomas just sneak inside that 1 second window. And there are the top 4s that come through the castle section. And it is a beautiful camera angle, must be said, as drivers threading the needle through there. Let's get rid of those position changes. Get more of the racing on our screens. But Dean said he was confident round here. So one of his favourite street circuits and one of his favourite overall tracks. So expecting him to push on, but Dom definitely good showing. Mike's not been the start he wanted. He's had to make a pit stop already. Possible bit of damage for the McLaren. Finds himself in 11th. But let's have a look. What can Dean do this time? The DRS comes quite late. Look at that. Different race strategies now. The soft to mediums to hards. As trading fast laps. But that overall now Dean's looking on the inside into turn 1. Gets the move done. Gets the car stopped. Jack didn't necessarily fight that too much. Knew it was going to come. But can now Jack get a better exit from turn 2? Looks like he got a good one. Dom in the background getting a little bit screwy. But here comes Jack fighting back. And he gets the move done and back into the lead. And all the while this little battle is allowing 3rd and 4th just to be there. But they are pulling away actually. And this is what I meant about the DRS. Once these guys trading DRS, trading the fast lap times, just pull away from people behind. 3 seconds to Simpendel. Blood Diamond about a second behind. Monsters dropped about a second, I would say now, off the back of those guys. So this is now where it becomes a battle of concentration, a battle of focus around this narrow street circuit. And just managed to keep the heat in the tyres. He managed to keep the braking points right. Oh, not get too squirrely, such as Dom and Thomas there on the exit of 12. And that's what's going to bring the lap times tumbling down for you if you get those right. And also look after the tyres, don't push too hard. But then you sort of get into this little stage of losing concentration. Dom got very screwly off the edge of 16. It cost him a couple of tenths. We've got this beautiful helicopter shot of Dean closing on the back of the Williams, slipstream enabled. He's already starting to close on the back now as he is in under the rear wing, and Thomas has already got through on Dom as well. Dom, difficult stage through this, and we're going to see a move from Dean. It's not this time round, but now we've got the kicks in 2nd and 3rd, a 2-pronged attack on the Williams, and we've seen this many times before this season, and we're seeing it once again. But Dom is there. Dom is fighting it. Jack goes very defensive, but Dean's looking for a way through and gets through on the inside. Last of the late breakers But the inside line, it's too tight to go side by side through there. Liquid Gas has to give it up. Let's have a quick look at Dom. No damage on that Ferrari. Wonder if he'd actually clipped a wall through 19 and turn 20. But there's Zinfandel. That's only 3 seconds. That gap doesn't look too big, but it is a 3-second gap, such is the nature of the straights on this circuit. There he is. But Zinfandel just trying to get his head down. Dropped Blood Diamond a little bit. Monster's under pressure from his teammates, so they're hoping to work together as well. Dom's getting a little bit screwly and sideways as he applies the power once again. But Zinfandel has definitely brought that gap down, showing some very good pace in the Aston Martin now. Blood Diamond struggling overall for good, but it's going to be interesting to see for, I think, Dom and for Liquid Gas how long these soft tyres will be able to go and how much grip overall that they will give. Blood Diamond's the first one to get a 3-second warning. Dom's had a messy middle sector and has crucially dropped outside of the DRS to the back of Thomas. That'll give Thomas a bit of breathing room, but Zinfandel absolutely flying on his own now. Clean air for him. No DRS, no slipstream. And he is really a man on a mission. So expect to see him pulling up soon, but is Liquid Gas. What about Thomas? Is he going to have a look as well? He's not. Liquid Gas is going to try and go around the outside just about. Gives the room and gets the move done around the outside of turn 1. Thomas is now looking interested on his teammate. Dean's had to go defensive. Jack's had to be pushed a little bit wide. Is that going to give the exit to Dean? It wasn't, because he had to take the inside curve a little bit too much. Thomas is fighting. Is Dean going to be close enough as well to turn 3? Thomas has backed out of it, but Dean's going to be last on the brakes and just about gets his nose in. Not quite close enough. Jack just holds on. But that was some very close racing. Drivers that you know are going to give room and give respect. All 3 of them. And Dom as well has just been able to hold himself back onto these. But look at that gap with Zinfandel. 1.7 seconds now. Monster still struggling for the overall pace, but it'll come back. Again, we've mentioned anything can happen around here. Street circuit. The ever-present safety car. Even virtual safety cars can last quite a while around here, so depends where it comes out on track. You can get a pit stop done, not the longest pit lane on the calendar. Don't lose an awful lot of time. Difficult pit exit though, straight to turn 1. I take it rather gingerly and get the exit before you get into turn 2. But look at this, Dean already right alongside Jack this time around. But I tell you what, it's Thomas is the one that's looking interested. The track widens. Is Jack going to get stung? And he is on the DRS because of the kicks. But I tell you what, that's a bit close because Thomas went a little bit deep. I don't know if he got a tap or just worried from his teammate there, because Thomas was through on Jack as well and then had to go a little bit deep into turn 1, and it's cost him that chance to even get through as well. No love lost between the 2 kick Saubers. Really should have asked him about that one, but didn't get a chance to, unfortunately. But now this battle, I know we're only focusing on the top 4, ladies and gents, but this is close. Zinfandel just dropped a little bit further back, maybe had a little bit of a moment at the start of this lap. Vexman and Monster trading places as well. I think Monster's had a moment somewhere. He went round, he's lost half a wing. Guttering for Monster, maybe just got the power down a little bit too much. Hopefully he didn't have a coming together with his teammate, but that's going to be a pit stop for the Red Bull man. Has Vexman got any damage? He's lost an end plate as well, so there might have been a coming together between the 2. Monster coming off a lot worse than his teammate. That's heartbreak for the Red Bulls, running up really strong 7th and 8th. And that would have been good points for them both. But still 20 more laps to go, and Jack, interestingly, has actually just about dropped outside of that 1 second window. The DRS detection is just up the way around here, so he's going to be pushing, and he can't quite get in that 1 second window. Is he going to now be vulnerable to Thomas as we go down the start-finish straight? Let's ride on board with the second kick Sauber. Is Jack going to look to pit soon? I think he's looking on the inside, on the left-hand side. Is Jack pitting? The Williams does pit. Lap 6, the soft tyre shod Williams has released the kicks, has released Dom and Zinfandel as well, but now we've got a few gaps that have formed because of that. So it's going to be interesting. Let's have a look at the tyres. Liquid Gas have gone for the hard compound tyres. Essentially looking to do a one-stop strategy, but maybe just felt they were going away from him a little bit. And he's decided that now is the time to get off them. And he's come out in 8th due to the gaps, but just ahead of Molson. Monster has also pitted, gone on the hard tyres. He'll have a new front wing and clean air as well behind Mike, who pitted early. And of course, he's on mediums. He'll probably have to pit again. So 3 pit stops we've had. It's going to be interesting to see what Liquid Gas's overall pace with. He's stuck behind, which isn't ideal for him. He is behind Trem at this moment in time in a quick McLaren. So it's going to be interesting to see what Jack can do. Being stuck behind him for an extra lap is not what the Williams man needed in his bid for a podium, even potential top step this evening. But this is going to help the guys up ahead, and Dom really struggling for pace now. He's dropped a long way back and sliding all the way, and Simpendel is going to have the DRS for the first time to him in this race. It's going to be interesting to see what Dom does in regards to pit stops as well. 6 laps on those softs, and we're going up to 7 very soon. Is Dom going to decide to pit? It doesn't look like he's going to. He doesn't. He decides to stay out. But now here comes the Aston Martin to the inside, gets the move done before the braking zone. Can he get the car stopped? He can. And now that is, that was I don't even know if I thought that was a slide from Dom, but immediately going to the left hand side of the track. And then Blood Diamond not far away as well. He's now starting to show some pace on the hard tyres, as Liquid Gas and Molson both get past Trem. Now Liquid Gas with some clean air ahead, as long as he can defend from Molson outside of here, turn 2 down to turn 3. As long as he's got that grip, which I think he does, he is now going to try to eke into Vexman and pump some really fast lap times in. And Monster as well, clean air. He's going to look to do exactly the same thing as well. But Vexman, don't forget, has got that wing damage. There it is on the front of that Red Bull. But now their best little battle. So Thomas and Dean still very close, which we usually see. And now we've got Dom and Blood Diamond right behind Simpendel after Simpendel makes the move. But it's interesting to see what Dom, as I mentioned, is going to do. There is a yellow flag in Sector 1. I think that's Monster. It is Monster. Oop, that's not way to reverse into that, pal. He's okay. He's going again. Doesn't look like any damage. But yeah, tricky day. Not a good track for him around here. I know he's had a few technical problems. He had that on Monday evening as well. So, difficult one for Monster. And it is one of those tracks that, if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, it's just nightmare. It is such a long race. If you're not comfortable, if it's difficult, yeah, it's just tough. But I tell you what, Simpendel is going to get done by 2. There's been big contact, big hit. Simpendel looked at the inside of the Ferrari and has had some damage. I think both him and Blood Diamond have had that collision as well. There's a knock-on effect from it. Doesn't look like there's too much damage. There's Vexman in the background, but everyone's still going. Big collision into turn 1, and that's it. People trying to late move there, and not really sure from the angle that we had who was close enough. Simpendel defending from Vexman, but that's opened the gaps up quite a lot. Blood Diamond and that lost a good 5 seconds there to Dom, who will be relieved to say the least, but we may see that one in the steward's room later this evening. But yeah, a lot of gaps forming. Top 2 streaking away as it is, as they do. Monster had to pit again, unfortunately for him. Has retired from the session. May have had a bit of rear wing damage after the reversing into the wall. Never a good sign. A difficult one. May have had a few technical issues. I'm sure we'll hear from him in the chat soon. But now then, Liquid Gas has closed the gap. Of course, Vexman, Simpendel, Blood Diamond and Dom involved in that collision. So, Blood Diamond's actually closed a good 7/10 actually on this lap. So, still the soft tyres about at the end of their life for Dom. Maybe he's just trying to do that one-stop strategy and take them, just eat them that little bit further. DRS pass from Thomas. It's going to be interesting to see if these two kicks do push themselves and help themselves. Dom now does pit. He was alongside just behind Liquid Gas when Liquid Gas pit, but Liquid Gas is now going to be through after the battles that Dom had. And so he has lost out quite a lot, actually lost out a number of extra places as well due to the pit stop. But hard tyres for the other Ferrari. Let's get rid of those. He'll be looking to go along now to the end, as Vexman still struggling to get through on Simpendel. But now with Dom pitting, that's promoted Blood Diamond up into third. He's got a comfortable gap of 4 seconds to these two. Liquid Gas closing that down very quickly indeed. There he is, only 1.3. He's able to brake when he wants, accelerate when he wants as well. It's something that Vexman doesn't necessarily have the luxury of, and of course that wing damage going to hamper him through a lot of corners. Very slidey as well through the exit to 12. Yeah, thought so, Andrew. So Trem now gets a 3-second penalty, the second man, and that'll be through the exit to turn 12. Well, he just run that little bit wide, and there is the white line that's there. There used to actually be a painted on curb there years back. Got rid of it now. It does actually make it a little bit more difficult to see the track limits. So it's always something you've got to be mindful of. But interestingly, Vexman has dropped a little bit outside the back of Simpendel, outside of the DRS, and this is going to allow Jack, the DRS, to come through as Vexman actually pits a bit earlier than he would have expected. But lap 11, 15 laps to go after this one. Well, that's released Liquid Gas, who had a great turn one, has closed quite a few tenths actually onto Simpendel. Is going to actually get the DRS. Are we going to see another overtake from Jack this evening? Simpendel's already proven that he is not easy to overtake, and shutting the door, nearly squeezing Jack, but Jack tries to go out the outside and holds in the superior traction on the hard-tired, the fresher, hard-tired Williams. No match for Simpendel. Want to take that slightly tighter line, and now he's through 5 seconds up the road to Blood Diamond. But with Jack pitting earlier, is that going to put him at disadvantage later in the race when Thomas and Dean decide to pit? They are so close on track. We are leaving them alone. I guess we see them most weeks. So it's interesting to see who pits first. As I mentioned, 15 more laps after this one to go. But Liquid Gas already pulling away, man on a mission and a man on a charge. So let's have a look at the top two. Is anybody going to decide to pit early and maybe try and undercut? It looks like Dean, thought about it, maybe just trying to force his teammate. See if he was going to try and undercut. Maybe try and make his teammate pit there and block him off. Didn't work this time round. Interesting tactics. We know there's not much love lost between these two. I've seen a few comings together earlier this season. Simpendel now does pit from what is 5th. Wilson as well follows suit. Don't forget Trem has pitted, I do believe. Let's have a quick look at that. Trem hasn't, I do apologise folks. Molson hasn't yet, but now does. So only Trem, Blood Diamond and these two Kick Salvers left to pit. And in terms of the tyres, bit of a mix. Of course, Trem and Blood Diamond on the hards, they can go a lot longer. Don't really expect to see them in just yet. But maybe we'll start to see Thomas and Dean come in soon. Mike probably has to pit again. He's done 10 laps, of course, pit on lap 1 for a set of medium tyres. But Simpendel in the Aston Martin on his debut has shown some really good pace. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. He's got Mike for company. A nice clean road ahead of him to Dom, who's on the back of Trem. Of course, difference in tyre life again. But Liquid Gas really closing down now on Blood Diamond, only 13 and about 14 seconds off the lead. But it's going to be interesting to see what these two can do, how long they're going to take it. Are they then going to try to take this just a little... Oh, Simperdale's got 3-second warning. Dean's using the DRS this time and decided he wants to take the lead. Maybe they've seen where liquid gas is. Maybe they've seen that little gap start to come down a little bit now that he's got on Blood Diamond. As he sets the fastest lap of the race, as on cue, which is very impressive in clean air. No DRS use for the Aston Martin man. As Dom having that battle with Trem. We mentioned the difference in tyres. Very late opening the DRS there for Dom. Gets the move done. Important for him to be on his way. I don't think Trem will fight this one too much to try to get back on, knowing that the difference in traction is in the Ferrari's favour at this point. And the two kicks really showing good pace right now. Good tyre management as well. If they can take this another couple of laps, we could see soft tyres being used by them. Of course, they did save a set in qualifying, so it is a big possibility for them. But now Dom pulling away from Trem, as you'd expect on the fresher tyres. Liquid gas is closing in. Mike's having a little battle with Simpendale, who's just pitted, getting used to the hard tyres and the grip that they give, or don't in the early stages until they get up to temperature. Mike's mediums start crying a little bit at the rear under those heavy traction zones. As the top two swap positions once again. I think they're actually just going to try to use each other now. Clean overtakes. Don't want to hold each other up. And maybe just push on, knowing that gap of 10.5 seconds and then 12 isn't that safe to liquid gas. That's done 7 laps on those hard tyres. They're just trying to eke it out as long as they can. As mentioned, it's due to pit stops as well. A few gaps forming on the field now. But Jack's now closing in on Blood Diamond. Your first Blood Diamond's taken a bit of a chunk there out of the top two. So maybe those hard tyres still got a bit of life in them. Compared to... Who was that? That was Blood Diamond! I mentioned he can lose the rear through 11, and he did just that. Looks like he managed to keep it out of the wall. Oh, that's heartbreak for him. He's still got a pit stop to make as well. Oh, difficult day at the office with Blood Diamond there. But gives Jack an easy overtake. And now Jack has clean air once again. Let's see what the two kicks do. Is anybody going to try to pit this lap? Is Dean going to pit? He's the man who is going to pit. We'll keep an eye on that one as Jack comes down the start-finish straight. I'll be up into second. I wonder when Blood Diamond's going to pit as well. So is it going to be hard tyres or is he going to try the softs, Dean? It is hard tyres. Can't quite take the softs, those 12 laps. So he'll come out in nice clean air as well. Very important for him to do that. Dom was a little bit further back. He's now on his own a little bit. It's Dom. A good race from him. Just caught up a little bit. Trim now as well deciding to pit. He's had 13 laps on those hard tyres. He's had enough. Sure, we'll go to the mediums and take those to the end. But a nice clean race so far. I've said it, and I probably jinxed it. But unfortunately, 2 retirements. Smurf, early stages, went straight on into turn 3 and then got disqualified. Monster rear wing damage, a couple of spins where a track he's not too fond of, so I'm sure he'll just sort of shrug this one off and say, right, that was a bad day at the office, not a track I liked, move on to something he does like. And that's easy to do now. There's some quick tracks coming up, of course, in the next few weeks. But Dean, the man on a mission. Whoa, Blood Diamond. Big slide out of turn 16. As I mentioned this in qualifying, as your tyres go, you can really get not even greedy on the throttle. It just, as soon as you put any power down, it starts to make you slide. So, 11 laps to go. Commanding lead for Thomas. But it depends on what Dean can do, the overall pace. Jack showed good pace already in the last 9 laps on his hard tyres. And he got caught up, don't forget, behind the Simpendel battle. So, you could think he'd be a little bit further up the road. But, depends on what Dean can do closing down Blood Diamond. And then the 7-second gap that actually is there to Liquid Gas. So this is going to be, it's not over yet, but depends on when Thomas decides he has had enough of those medium tyres. He's already carried on an extra lap than his teammate, but still feels he's got plenty of life left in him. Maybe he's looking to do a late swap. We'll just keep our eye on him at the minute. Just have a look at the overall grip that he's got. Gives the exit curve of 16 plenty of respect in a wide berth. He is losing time to Jack. Don't think he'd be overly bothered, because if he can go along and, you know, anything can still happen in this race. Takes a short run to the line. No, he is pitting. So that means Liquid Gas is going to take the lead once again. Is it going to be hard tyres for Thomas? Is it going to be soft tyres? Is he going to try it and take them 9 laps to the end? So about 6 or 7 laps early on, didn't we? It is soft tyres for Thomas. But Diamond's decided he's pitting as well. Dean's going to come out just ahead of his teammate as well. There's Thomas on the pit exit. There's his teammate gone through. So Thomas, soft tyres. This is game on, ladies and gents, in the final 9 laps. Don't go anywhere. Join us in the chat. Has Thomas got that overall pace to close down the gap to Liquid Gas? There's 8 seconds that Dean has got to Liquid Gas, but fresher tyres that are going to be coming in a nice working window now. We saw how fast Jack was when he'd done a few laps on them. He really closed the gap down. 8 seconds. He's got a few tenths. Once again, has Dean. Is Jack just going to try to push them on and hope that he's got enough life left in them? We got to about 16 laps, didn't they? And that's where Blood Diamond started to struggle. But Mike has also put a set of soft tyres on for his second stop, so he's going to be flying now. Currently in 9th ahead of his teammate. Only those 3 penalties, 3 seconds for Blood Diamond, Simpendal and Trem. But battle resumed for the kicks. About half a second taken out of Liquid Gas on this lap. And I have to do some mathematics to see how close that would be by the end if that was the trend. But Dean's tyres are going to get better. Thomas's tyres are going to be fast. Jack's tyres 9 laps older than Dean's. 10 laps older. And 2 compounds harder than Thomas's. It's the kicks are hunting. The Williams ahead. And it's only 8.3 seconds now, 8.4 the gap. Thomas now gets through on Dean. Don't think Dean was really going to fight that too much. Thomas has really pushed on that stage of this race. Blood Diamond, see what he can do now. He's got that 3-second gap to Simpendal, who's also got that 3 seconds. He's got a 4.4 to Vexman, so wants to keep that, and he'll cement himself in 6th, which will be a very impressive debut indeed for the man in Aston Martin. Blood Diamond wants to use those fresher tyres on Dom, close that gap down. And it seems to be that middle sector. I don't know if Jack made a mistake somewhere, because they've closed a second now, the leaders. I'll tell you, to the leader, I should say. So this is game on. 8 laps to go. 7 seconds the gap. Blood Diamond flying out. He'll be loving the grip that he now has. Sick of the hard tyres that he was on from the start. And if we keep our eye on the bottom corner of the screen, the bottom right hand side with the track map, you will see through into turn 2, the leader with Thomas on the soft tyres just sets the fastest lap, pulling away from his teammate, importantly for him, but closing down the leader. Blood Diamond, really good straight line speed. Not sure if he's using any of his battery, but didn't have the DRS. Will do between 2 and 3, but the grip that he now has in that V-carb could be a very good 4th position for him. Let's have a look at those position changes since the start of the race. Currently Thomas is up 2, started in 4th. He's passed Dean and Dom. Blood Diamond up 2 at this moment in time. He looked like he's going to get, wow, a very slidey Ferrari indeed. That's right on board with him through this middle sector. We'll look and see the difference in the grip and the confidence that he has. But don't forget, he's carrying a 3-second penalty as well, so he's going to need to get this move done. Oh, that might have been a bit of a jump there for Dom. Don't want to do that too often and get too many track limit warnings. But look at that gap at the front, 5.5 seconds. Another 1.5 this lap. Thomas got those softs working beautifully now. I think Jack sort of maybe still 8.5 seconds to Dean, so Dean hasn't quite closed as much as he would have liked to. But look at this, Blood Diamond just can't do much in the middle sector, but now looking for a good exit from turn 16. Uses the exit curve to stop the car from sliding, just to mount it nicely. Thomas, that's another fastest lap of the race. And now what can Blood Diamond do? We're going to see him up into 4th. Looks like it. He's almost got the move done before the DRS. Now you heard the beep, and he's done. Trem's got another 3-second penalty, but now then, Blood Diamond's going to look to create a 3-second gap ahead of Dom and put himself firmly in that 4th position, which would be a fantastic result for him. Molson as well, down in 8th. He's up 2 spaces from his grid slot. So a really strong race for him. Vexman's held on and up 1. Trem as well started 11th, now in the top 10. So both McLaren scoring points this evening. But I tell you what, Dean just doesn't seem to have the pace. He's got damage. That's why he is missing an end plate. Dean is missing the right end plate of that kick salver. That explains why he's struggling for overall pace. He is not closing on liquid gas, even with that massive tyre difference. So I think Dean maybe resigning himself to 3rd place this evening. But Thomas isn't done. Thomas is looking for the win. 4 seconds, 6 laps. Can he do it? Has he got enough life in those tyres, those soft compound tyres, to close the gap even more to Jack, who surely by the end will be hanging on just that little bit more, but lighter fuel loads, so the car won't be as hard on its tyres as they were at the start. Like I said, this is not done yet, folks, at all. Another mention for the damage on Trem's car as well. Is Mike okay in the other McLaren? Has he got any damage? He's got his full front wing. But difficult one. Simbandell's retired. Where's that? There's a safety car! Ladies and gentlemen, 6 laps to the end and we have a safety car. Is that saviour? Blood Diamond's managed to pit straight away. Perfect position. Surely he's going to put a set of soft tyres on. Jack didn't get the safety car message. Neither did the top 3. Gutting for Simpendal. Absolutely heartbreak. He was on for a great finish as well in 6th. I think it was that he was. But everyone now pitting. Surely everyone's going to put the soft tyres on. Oh, I'm going for Simpendal. Grimo's cheering on his teammate. It's nice to have you, Grimo. Please have the results and the standings done for next week, mate. It's very difficult for everybody. I have no idea where everybody is. And I think at the end of this lap, and the end of this race, it's going to be even more confusing. So Dom may have missed as well the safety car coming out. But although Blood Diamond passed him, I think Dom's missed a trick and really should have pitted. But what is our leader going to do? Comes out with 16, he'll have the Delta. It's going to be interesting to see if Thomas pits or he sticks it out. Worst case, Liquid Gas will go behind Dean. Dean, I think, with the gap, he's not going to lose a spot. If he does to Dom, he's definitely got the pace to get through. It's Dean. Here's Liquid Gas going to pit, put the soft tyres on. I think if he gets silly, if he doesn't, he is going straight into the pits. Is our race leader. Surely it's going to be a set of soft tyres. Be interested to see if Dean... Thomas is followed in! Fresh set of softs for Thomas. What about Dean? Dean is going in. He should be far enough behind. He may get held up a little bit, but let's see what Dom does. Too many D's going on here. I can actually hear what Grimo's saying as well. I can just hear. Knowing Grimo. Oh, Dom does pit. So is that going to allow Blood Diamond to get through? He's coming down the start finish rate, but it'll be under a Delta. Has Dean got a new front wing? Didn't quite see. Yes, he has. This is going to be almighty battle. I think Dom is going to get out. Oh, look at this. This is going to be very, very close. Blood Diamond does get out ahead of Dom, but again, that 3 seconds is going to hurt massively. And now everybody's pitted. Mike did 4 laps, so he's okay on his tyres. He's going to stick, but everybody else has now pitted. This is a true battle towards the end. We saw it at the start of the race. Different tyre compounds as well. Game on, folks. Game on indeed. Round the streets of Baku, it's been lovely weather for them. Full dry race, and now, wow. Hopefully the safety car coming at the end of this lap. I think it might be the next one. We've got Trem's a bit too far back for the safety car to come in now. We'll try to group the whole field up. So come on, everybody in the chat, as long as you're not driving, that is. Let me know your predictions for the win. Is Blood Diamond going to be able to come through and battle these guys, even though he's got a 3-second penalty? What about Dom? He was very quick in the early stages. Are we going to see one of the kicks come through and take the win, or is Jack going to be able to hold the green machines at bay? Mike up into 6th. Didn't pit. Is he going to have the grip, though, on those used soft tyres from Vexman? Who has Vexman repaired his wing? Yes, he has as well. Molson was very quick as well. He's had a good race. Let me know, folks, who you think could be the winner this evening. I think FK should be coming at the end of this lap. Trem not far away at all. But drivers are not taking too much labour out of the tyres, of course, but using whatever they can to keep the heat into the tyres. Unfortunately, with these safety cars, as soon as they hit the brakes, every tight and twisty slow corner is amplified to the extreme. Trem's closing in now. He's decided, oh, he actually has got wing damage again, maybe pushing a little bit to close to the safety car. It ends up with wing damage, but still good points for him on his return. He missed a couple of races, so nice to have him back. Now, isn't that the balcony you want to have Well, Grand Prix weekend. See the cars down the start-finish straight and through the middle sector as well. But surely safety car will be in this lap. The field is now nose to tail and packed together. Tremor's joined the end of the crocodile, and it'll soon be Jack who will set the pace. And it's going to be an interesting one of when he drops the hammer. Doesn't want to go too early because he can even catch the safety cars. Lewis Hamilton nearly did all those years ago. But as well, you don't want to give the slipstream to Thomas and Dean. He's getting whatever heat he can now into those tyres. Mike and Vexman having a little bit of a play. Molson's hit the back of Vexman. So maybe difficult under braking. And he's got 10-second penalty. Doesn't have damage, but now the safety car is coming in. Let's ride on board with our race leader. He's going to get the last of the heat in those tyres. And when will he drop the hammer? When will he try to catch Thomas napping? And you've got to get out of bed very early in the morning to do that to Thomas and Dean as well. Trying to get whatever heat he can into the tyres. The safety car is now in the pits. So it's now down to the Williams, and now he goes just before the start-finish line. Didn't catch anybody napping naturally at this point in time, but it's a clean restart. Dean right behind his teammate with Blood Diamond as well. Thomas got a little bit screwy on the exit curve. Molson and Vexman having a battle further down the field as well. Molson's got through on the Red Bull man. But now this is key for liquid gas. Don't forget, no DRS this lap, but it is going to be available lap 25 and lap 26. Now everybody knows the tale. We've seen a few double overtakes happen and a few people losing time. Molson and Vexman having a right ding-dong further back. All got wing damage. There's still side-by-side. There's been contact. There's big wing damage from Molson and Tremor on the outside. I thought maybe left him a bit of room, but I think he cut the inside curb. And that sent Molson round. Vexman back through as well. Damage to all three cars. Difficult way to end this Grand Prix, but now let's go back to the leaders. This fight now for not just the top step, but also the podium as well. Blood Diamond at 3 seconds. That's going to drop him down the order. Mike could really do with closing it down Dom, but the tyre difference is going to be quite some margin. Fresh tyres, of course, for everybody ahead of Mike. He's luckily got that gap. Yeah, he'll think it's lucky to the back of Vexman. But Dom is still looking good for 4th place as it stands, but we are not going away from these guys at the top. Look at this, Thomas in the slipstream. Dean in the slipstream is even quicker than his teammate. He doesn't want to wait for the DRS. He's not waiting at all. He's going to make the double overtake. Dean down the start-finish straight has now gone from 3rd to 1st. Jack's almost tried to hang around the outside, can't make it happen. Dean, what a move. Thomas is now having a little bit of a think on it on Jack as well. He's in a green sandwich. We've seen that before. And as Jack now going to try the move, repay him back as we've seen early on. Don't forget one more lap after this one, folks. Now Jack trying on the inside. This is it, just about. That sounds like a little bit of wheel tapping, but just enough room was given. Jack through back into the lead. Blood Diamond still there at the back of this Tom as well. This is anybody's race once again. I hate MOS. It's killing me off like it did last week. Because these drivers absolutely, from lights to flag, do not quit. Do not give in. And now Jack pushing hard. Trying to create any kind of gap he can, but the DRS is going to be enabled. He is going to be very, very vulnerable as we come to the end of the penultimate lap. Jack through turn 16, keeping as much gap as he possibly can to the inside curve. Doesn't want to unsettle the car any more than needs be. He is pushing really, really hard. Tremor's now retired at turn 16. There will be no safety cars. Unlucky for Tremor on his return. Molson now through as well. Oh, actually, he didn't half lose it, but I think Molson might have caught into that and has found himself spun round. But now let's go back because the DRS is wide open. Thomas is coming. Thomas is coming. Thomas is through. Dean, is he going to try and have a look late into turn one? He's not. Thomas makes the move, but we've got another DRS to go. Don't forget, we've still got the run to the finish line. This isn't over. It's now starting to cloud over. Please don't give us rain like we saw last week in Singapore. But Thomas got a fantastic exit from turn two. Dean's not going to be close enough. Is Jack going to be close enough to have a look at the turn three? He's not. He's waiting now. Are we going to see almost pushing Thomas through turn three? Such was the overspeed that Jack had. Great car control to not hit the back of the kick. Silver Blood Diamond is still there. Dom is still there. Mike actually is boarding on that 3 second gap to Blood Diamond. This could be good for Mike in terms of getting more points in the championship, especially if Dom and Blood Diamond are held slightly by this battling trio ahead, because we've only got a handful of corners left through the Old Castle section. We go nose to tail once more with the top three, top four, top five all in one shot. Mike just outside of that 3 second to Blood Diamond, who's going to get the helpful toe and the DRS down the start-finish train. I tell you what, folks, this is definitely not done. I would say there's 2 corners to go, but there's not. There are a couple of extras to do it. But is Jack going to have the overspeed? Is Jack going to be able to get the power down? Is he going to have enough battery? What about Dean? We saw him do it at the safety car restart the lap after, before the DRS. Here we go, folks. This is the run to the line. We're going to be on board with Jack in second. Dean's there. Dean's having a look. There's the kick. So, but where is his line? Is it going to be quick enough for Jack? He's going for it. He's going for it. It's not. It's Thomas on the line. Thomas takes it on the line by 0.015 of a second. 0.5 to Dean. Top three, half a tenth of a second separates them all. Dom takes fourth. Blood Diamond, after his penalty, takes fifth. Mike is going to be sixth. What an end to that. I think 15 metres further, that could have been liquid gas. Could have even been Dean who could have taken the win, but Thomas holds on. Wow. What a finish that is, folks. If you don't watch anything else this evening, the last 3 laps, absolutely outstanding. Thomas takes the win by 15 hundredths of a second. Jack, so close. Our pole sitter is in second, and Dean, half a tenth from his teammate, and the win is now finding himself on third. Wow. Absolutely incredible driving. Here we go, folks. Your provisional stand-ins and results. I need to catch my breath. Wow. Thomas takes the win with the fastest lap as well. Liquid gas, then Dean, the top 3. Unbelievable racing. Dom is going to be in fourth. We've had a Blood Diamond after 3 seconds in fifth. Then we got Mike and Vexman, Mulson and Trem, the finishers there. Trem is classified but did not finish. Simpendal, unlucky for him on his debut. Then Monster and Smurfed did not finish. That was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Exactly, Grimmer. What a finish. Jack says it's mega as well. Absolutely mega. Incredible racing. I had a feeling I could give maybe Dom the drive of the day for his drive. But I mean, those last 3 laps have thrown everything out the window. There is no chance I could ever give a commentator's driver of the day. The game's given it to our winner, Thomas. Let's go with that for this evening, folks, because that was incredible. And all I've got to say to all of you is thank you so much for joining. I'm so glad you witnessed that. Please do watch it again, especially when it gets uploaded to our YouTube channel. So if you haven't followed us already, please search Mainstream Racing Series on YouTube and hit the bell and follow us. Give us a follow. As soon as we hit 50 followers, we'll be streaming live on our YouTube channel each and every week as well. I think after all that, A number of the drivers, including the two who are still in the lobby, Liquid Gas and Dean, they're going to go for a little lie down. I certainly am. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you to the drivers for giving me a heart attack. Absolutely incredible. We will see you all in 7 days' time. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely evening and good night.